Greetings, this is Edward Ojambo. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to generate a low poly boxing ring using the Blender Python API. Before we begin, quick reminder, I do a live stream every day at 2 p.m. Eastern. Simply visit ojambo.com for details on this and upcoming tutorials. And you're free to join the live chat. You can post any request about programming or lifestyle topics. Be sure to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank everybody who subscribed so far this month. Okay, with that said, I apologize, but this tutorial is a little bit late. The reason for that is I'll show you. I'm actually I'm downloading a Llama 4, and that should be in a future tutorial. So it might slow down the system a little bit. So hopefully it won't disturb the system. All right, now, so basically what we're going to do today is we're going to create a boxing ring. It's going to be 3D, and then we're going to also output it so that you'll be able to view it and interact with it in the web browser. So it's low poly. If you don't understand what low poly means that it doesn't have as many vertices or faces. It's kind of like a blocky type shape. However, that's perfectly fine, because usually when you add textures, not just colors, but some textures, especially the matte or glossy or sometimes metal, they will look really, really nice. They will actually be able to fool the majority of people. You don't always need to have very complex models. This one is a very simple one. As you can see, obviously we just have ropes. You have the floor here, and then we have these poles as well. So it's very simple. This one I just gave it colors, and now to make it pop, obviously I used as you can see here, I use an HDR image. I'll explain all this when we actually get into the tutorial, the coding part of the tutorial. So what you're going to learn, how to write a Python script for creating the boxing ring model in Blender. So meaning that Python is the ones that's gonna do the modeling for us using Blender. That's what's called the Blender Python API. And then we're going to run the script on the command line. So what the script is going to do, it's not just going to create the model, it's also going to export in a GTLF format, which is the GLTF format, but we're going to use the binary version so that we are able to, in the future, we can make that file as big as possible, because it's a binary, everything will be there, instead of a JSON file where it might have problems, might have some issues. Now the good news is I only have, so it needs 34 gigs of RAM to run this model, so I'll fix that later. The problem is I do have 32 gigs of RAM. The problem is, because you can see here, so I'll figure that out. Don't worry. I know some tricks. I'll solve that later. I'm not talking about the Blender tutorial. So if you're impatient, I do have the code here. You can just expand, copy the code. Obviously, you need to have Blender. You need to have Python. I'm using Python. I don't know what version of Python I'm using. I think it's 3.13. But I will check on the command line. I'll show you what version of Python I'm using. We'll figure that out. So basically all you do is you save the Python, you copy the code, it's just a script, you put it in a Python file, and then you open up your terminal, and then you just run this command, blender space -b, is a shortcut for hyphen background, space hyphen capital P, which is a shortcut for hyphen Python, space, and then the name of the file, and then it will save, it will generate as I said, it will generate the Blender file, and also generate the GLTF file for us. Now if you forget to put the part about saving the blend file, you can also add this on the command line, -save -as, and then you can see the blend. Then it will output the blend file for you, but that's already in the code that I'm going to use. This code here most likely does not have it, but so I gave you options. Okay, so with that, and then for the web part, It's very, very simple. For the web part, all you need to do is you down here, basically you use a CDN to load the model viewer, and then just use the model viewer tag, and you put your the GLB file inside it. I like to use auto rotate, camera controls. That's the most minimum I like to use, and you will see why. If you don't have to, but I like to put it there because I want it to be interactive. Okay, and then also if you want to export the GLTF file as a GLB, you can also do this as well. As you can see, you can add the import and export it that way as well. So you do have lots of options. I'm going to do it the simpler way. I'm going to Python handle everything because this is also a Python tutorial. So that's it. Let's get started. I have a GNOME text editor here. So I'm going to open up these two files, the Python file and the HTML. So let's go to the Python file first. So as usual, you need to import the Blender Python module. Then you don't need the import OS. I like to import OS because I like to save. You see these two files, the blend file and the GLB file. I'm going to delete those. I like to save them in the same relative path to where the Python file is. So that's why I'm using import OS. But if you don't care, by default it will save them inside your home folder. So for example, I'm on Linux, I'll be /home/Edward. If you're on a Mac, I think it's like /user/ I think the username, whatever you use. So that'll be like /user/Edward. On Windows, I don't know how Windows does this. Yeah, I can't remember how it does it. I don't know if it just goes /username. I haven't used Windows as since 2008. That's a long time ago. So I'm not too familiar with the way it works. I'm sure I can figure it out if I had a Windows machine in front of me running a Windows operating system. Okay, so I'm going to zoom out just a little bit here. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit more again. People on the vertical screen should be able to see this. Oh, I guess I have to zoom out again. Okay, I was hoping to put this on one line, but looks like okay. There we go. That's what I want. I wanted the comment on one line. So I created a method or function. It's called create material. So pass in the name, the base color, and the roughness. If you see something like this in Python or most programming language, this means that this will be the default value if you don't specify one. So meaning that you can, in this particular case, you can just specify two values, just the name and the base color, and it will use this one, the roughness 0.5, and the metallic, it will set it to 0. But if you do specify them, then it will override this default one. Okay, and then for the material, again, the Blender Python module data materials new, and then it will use the name that was passed into this function, and then we have this use node, set it to true. The reason we do that is because in the past, Blender didn't have the use nodes. You always had to do it manually. I'm talking when you open up the UI. So I think these days when you automatically, they're moving to nodes, so I think you always have nodes, but it's good to have this because maybe some of you guys are using an older version of Blender, or who knows, in the future maybe they will remove it as well. So just to be on the safe side, use node, set it to true. And then we're going to use obviously trees. That's the node. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to get the principal BSD, and then the input for the base color. We set the value to the color that's actually being passed into our function. The roughness, we will set it to the value that's passed in, or set to the default, which will be 0.5. And then the metallic, like same thing, it will be the value you pass in, or if you don't have one, it will just use 0 as the default right here. And then we just return that material. And now for the boxing ring, what we do is we select everything. In 2025 Blender 4.5, by default it comes with a camera, cube, and a light. So we don't need any of those. So you see, that's why we're selecting them here, and then we're going to delete all of them. So actually we're checking especially the mesh type. So obviously that will be default cube. We delete it. We can leave the camera and the light. That's fine. Then we create the flow materials. So the flow material, remember we used that function we created before, called create underscore material. So I see we call the material ring flow material, and we pass in this is the color. So if you don't know, Blender uses radians, meaning that let's say you want to use RGB. So RGB is 0 to 255. So for example, 255, 255, 255, that's white, and 000, that's black. Or if you want to use there's also a 128. So if you're using 128, obviously just convert that, and the radians will basically be 1. So the reason I don't like using radians is because, as you can see, they're decimals. So if I want to use specific colors, I have to be very, very careful with the decimals and all that as well. Yes, you can have up to 4 decimals, but I still prefer just using the whole numbers. It's just, especially RGB for the web, it's just easier. And you can see the roughness is set to 0. You see here, this one I'm not passing in a metallic value, so it's going to use the default metallic value, which is 0. And then for the posts, the post material, we call it ring post material, and this is the color we're using. So the last value here, in case you're wondering, because I did say RGB, so this is for alpha, the 1. So it's RGBA. The A is the alpha, so when there's a value 1, that means 100%, meaning it's going to be 100% opaque. So this one, though, it does have a roughness value of 0.4 and has a metallic value of 0.7. So they mean that this one we want to give it a metallic, definitely a metallic look. And then for the rope material, the name is going to be ring rope material, and this is the color. You see it's 111. So as I say, that translates to, if it's RGB, 255, 255, 255, which is white, and the alpha is also 1, so it's completely white. Roughness is 0.3, metallic is 0.2. So the reason I want to give it a metallic is just to give it a little ring, because I think rings before used to be, I don't think they were made from nylon. I think they used to use maybe some rubber material or sometimes some wire. So that's why I gave it a 0.2, just to make it look more realistic. Whereas remember, this is all low poly, so we're going to do it very quickly. So then after that, we're going to create the floor. So we'll just use a plane. So plane is very flat. It's actually really two-dimensional. And then we don't enter the edit mode, so we're still in the object mode. Aligning to the world, and the location 0, 0, 0, because we want it right out of the flow, meaning that X location is 0, Y location is 0, and the Z or Z location is also 0. We call it ring flow, and then we scale it. This is how we scale it. Then we apply the material, the flow material, to it. Next, we create some posts. So in order to create a post, I just create an object to have the locations for the posts, because remember, we're going to have there are 4 posts. So we're just going to use a loop here instead of doing things over and over again. It's going to use an object to, I said, to hold the 4 post locations, and then we're going to use a for in loop, and then we create cylinders, mesh cylinders. Radius, we give them 0.2, the depth of 4, and we can stay in the object mode. We align to the road, and the location. You see the location, for example, the first one will be this location here, this 4 value, XYZ. And then the name, just ring post is perfectly fine. Blender is smart enough that it will just append .00 and 0001, 0002, and things like that. So then, which is perfectly fine for our use cases. And then we apply the material, post material. And then for the ropes, we need the heights, because remember, we're going to have 3 ropes. You can add more ropes if you want. So we're going to have 1 rope at 1, because we don't want it at 0. We want it at 1, then 1.5, then 2. So you can have as many ropes as you want. In this particular case, there's only going to be 3 ropes at those locations. And then again, we use another for in loop, and then this time we use actually a cube. Believe it or not, we actually use a cube. And we size it down to very, very small, 0.1, and we stay in the object mode, align to the road, and then see the location. We have the X location, the Y location, and then for the Z location is that's going to be where the height is. So meaning that the first rope will be same location the way around, the second rope will be up a little bit, and then the third rope will be higher. And then we scale at 87, 0.1, 0.1. So the scale, we want it to go into the posts. So that's why we have this. And then after that, we append the rope material. And then for the, after that, we also need, so that was the front rope. We have a back rope, we have a left rope, and then we have the right rope. So there we go. So I guess all this could have been probably done with another for loop, I guess, but I could have done another thing, but that's perfectly fine. I just did it manually. Then after that, all of them, obviously we apply the rope material, and then that's create our boxing. We call it that function, and we create the boxing. And then this is the part I was telling you about. So to save the blend file, or just get the absolute path, remember I said that's why we grab the OS, and then we save save underscore as underscore main file, and the file path that's to the blend file. Now for the GLB, you again see it says os.path.join. So because I said we want to save it relative to where the Python file is running, so we just append that, and then the name, and then here's it's bs.ops.export underscore scene.gltf. So the file path, same thing, and then export underscore format is GLB. By default, it's going to use GLTF, which is JSON format, but I want to use the GLB, that's a binary one. And then we export apply, set that to true, and then export materials. Yes, we do want our materials. So that's it. Then we can run this on a command line, but before I run that on the command line, I want to show you the HTML. It's very, very simple. The doc type, HTML tags, and head section, I put a meta for viewport, set the width 1, so we can also run this on our smaller devices or tablets or any device that's connected to our network. Then this is this is how you load the module script. You see I'm using a CDN and unpark.com, and you can see model viewer. And then styling, this is not a styling tutorial, but you can style the way you want. And then here, see, this is the model under hyphen viewer tag. You see you get the source, that's our GLB file, and then we have auto hyphen rotate space, then camera hyphen controls, the space AR space, and then shadow intensity, I set that to 1. Now for the AR, that means that if you have like VR glasses, you'll be able to see this as well. Very, very nice. And then if you have if you have an environmental image, so that's the HDR image here. So it's going to use it for lighting, and you can see it makes a massive difference. If I have time, I might show this to you guys. Okay, so with that, we are ready to run this. So I'm gonna open up the console here, or terminal, or whatever you want to call it, and just need to make it smaller. Okay, there we go. Let me clean this up. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just run blender space -b space -P space and the name of our file. So it's low poly boxing ring.py, and press enter. I'm going to zoom out a little bit just to show you it doesn't take too long. It's done, just like that. Done. So you see it created all my stuff for me, and you see it's exported GLTF version 2. So you see now it created the blend file, it also created the GLB file. Now you could also open up Blender and just copy the script right into it. It will do the same thing. So let's open up the blend file first so you can take a look at what it looks like. So if you want to see what it actually looks like, I mean that's what it looks like right now. So you can rotate, the usual stuff like that. And then I'm going to go to the shading. So there you go, the shading, so you can see the colors and stuff. And even better, if I go to the shading workspace, it has a built-in, I think it's the forest, it has a built-in HDR. You see, this is the forest here. I can see it lights up much better. That's why I prefer using HDR images. It's just a quick way. If you, there we go. See, it's inside a forest. I see it looks way better. So you can also go to the scripting tag as scripting workspace, and you can paste your code in here. You just press new, paste the code, and then you can click the run button. See, run script, and then it will generate it for you. So, and then you can go see here, you go to file. Oh, not file. Is it, no, is it render? No, is it? I think it's file. You go to file export. You go to file export, and you can see it's a GLTF version 2. If I click on that, you see it gives me a bunch of options up here. You see I can do the GLTF binary format. That's because from the Python script, but you can also do the GLTF plus bin test plus textures, and then you can add your copyright if you want, and etc. So I didn't do that. Maybe in the future I will. So that's it. So I'm going to close off Blender here. We don't need it. However, one thing that we do need is we need to back to the command line here, is we do need a server because we're loading the module. If you didn't have the module, it will work perfectly fine, but because we're loading that JavaScript module, so you can use any web server you want. So I'm going to use the Butte, since we're using Python here, I'm going to use Python as well. So it's simply Python space -m space, I'm going to use http.server, and then the port number, I'll use 8080. And you can see now it's 0000, so that means that I'll be able to I can use localhost on this machine. I can use 0000, I can use whatever the name of the you see it's actually called customer. I can use that as well, and as long as I use the port number 8080. Now if I'm going to do it on my device, I need to get the IP address of this particular device, and then colon 8080, and then this name, if you call it index.html, it will load automatically, but because I changed the name to, let me actually copy this name so I don't make a mistake, low hyphen poly boxing ring.html. So I need to use that. So I'm going to open up the Chromium browser. The reason I'm using Chromium browser because it has WebGL and everything built in, which sometimes the other browsers do not. You just type http ://127.0.0 or localhost, and then 8080, then slash our HTML file, and you can see it loaded up here. And you can see my hands here. See, it's auto rotating. My hands are here. I'm not doing anything. It's auto rotating by itself. So if I now go there and I see you can easily rotate it. You see there's a bottom color there and this, and you can see the poles look really, really nice with that subtle metallic look. So that's a simple boxing ring, just like that. It's all low poly, and you see how quickly that took. It didn't take too much time to do at all. Very simple, especially the HTML. Very, very simple. I said the code is over here. You can try it. You can try it yourself. Now you can also do it on the phone. I'm going to prove that to you guys. Just a second. Just get the IP of your what do you call it? Get the IP. So mine is 192.168.1.106, and I put colon 8080 slash low poly. Oh, I think it's low. Oh, hyphen poly. What about that? Low hyphen poly hyphen boxing hyphen ring dot html. There we go. See, it pops up on the phone as well. And then you see, oops, I can rotate it as well. As you can see here, you see that? I can rotate it Yeah, see, I was using my fingers here. You can easily rotate it. So, see, it does work on the phone as well. Obviously, any device which supports. I'm using Chrome browser on there. So there we go. Nice and simple tutorial. All right. So I have some screenshots here. You guys saw this. I showed this to you in the when I opened up Blender. So I'm not going to spend time on that. Just prove to you guys I'm live. I'm playing the video, which supports. I'm using Chrome browser on. There we go. So there's a slight delay there, but that's actually good because if things go wrong, you can catch them. All right. So if you want additional resources for those wanting to dip in their knowledge, check out my books. I have Learning Python. It's a great start for beginners looking to learn Python programming. It's available on Amazon. You can search for Eduardo Jambo. Links are also in the description. I also have Mastering Blender Python API. It's a comprehensive guide to Blender scripting for more advanced projects. It has the same thing where you can build meshes and models. It also has video, so that's a fantastic one as well. And yeah, it's available in paperback and ebook format. If you have Kindle Unlimited, you can get it for free. All right, you can also enroll in my Learning Python course, available on ojamboshop.com for structured learning. If you need personalized help, I also offer one-on-one online Python tutorials, including Blender scripting, to help you build projects like this. Feel free to contact me at ojambo.com/contact for scheduling and details. If you enjoyed this tutorial or want to learn more, let me know in the comments. All right, now before let's finish up here. Quick reminder, I do a live stream every day at 2 p.m. Eastern, and also be sure to subscribe, like, because that really helps the channel grow and helps all this content is just for you guys. I also have a few other resources I want to plug. I live in a rural area where the internet is not very good, so I do use SpaceX Starlink, the residential service. So if you're thinking of getting it, if you use my link here and you actually purchase it, I will get 1 month free, and you also get a discount depending on your geographical location. So I highly recommend, if you're thinking of getting it or if you actually want to get it, use my referral link. It's available on all the articles, especially all the articles. It's available there as well. And what else? I also have another resource I'm plugging this month. It's I wrote a book. It's called The Algorithmic Serpent. It's about a scientist who creates an AI, and he loses control, so he has to gain control of the AI. And as you can see here, they said it's available right now on Amazon. I made it as affordable as possible for all anywhere you are. So it's also available in ebook and paperback versions. It's a novelette. If you also have Kindle Unlimited, you can read it for free, or you can get it for free, I believe. Yes. What else? And also all the other resources. You just open up any article. If I'm the author of the article, you'll see down here it has a book page. You can go there and check out all my books. I have other programming languages, not just Python. I just show you like a book, for example, here. And if you need support, you can hire me for services at ojamboservices.com. And if you're ready to learn, I have a page that goes to the ojamboshop.com courses page. So with that said, I'm going to check the live chat. I don't see any chat requests. I'm going to end this live chat right now, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern. So simply just go to ojambo.com here, and you can see this is what we're doing tomorrow. Okay. With that said, bye now. See you tomorrow.